I wasn't supposed to be home that afternoon. A last-minute cancellation at work sent me back hours earlier than usual, and instead of calling ahead, I decided to surprise her. I even smiled to myself while unlocking the door, imagining her face lighting up when she saw me standing there with grocery bags and an unscheduled evening ahead of us. The house was quiet. Too quiet. No television, no music, none of the small everyday sounds that made a home feel lived in. I told myself she might be napping. I kicked off my shoes and walked in, calling her name softly. No answer. Then I heard the water. The bathroom shower was running, steady and loud. Steam curled out from under the door, creeping across the floor like a warning I didn't yet understand. I hesitated, suddenly feeling like an intruder in my own home. Still, I knocked lightly. No response. I pushed the door open. What I saw didn't register all at once. At first, it was just shapes and movement behind the fogged glass. Two silhouettes. Too close. Then a laugh, low, familiar, and not hers alone. My chest tightened as my brain tried desperately to create an innocent explanation, but my body already knew the truth. The curtain shifted slightly, and time collapsed. There was no dramatic scream, no slipping on tiles, no cinematic moment. Just a quiet, brutal clarity. She stood there frozen, eyes wide, water streaming down her face, while the man behind her turned in shock. I recognized him instantly. Someone I had welcomed into my home. Someone who knew my routines, my absences, my trust. Something broke inside me without a sound. I don't remember how long I stood there. Seconds or minutes, it didn't matter. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. I stepped back, my hand still on the doorframe, suddenly afraid that if I moved any closer, I'd do something I could never undo. She said my name. Once. Then again, louder. Her voice cracked the way it used to when she cried during movies. That familiarity hurt more than the betrayal itself. I turned and walked away. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall while my hands shook uncontrollably. My mind replayed every memory we had built together. Holidays, late-night talks, plans scribbled on napkins. I wondered which of them were real and which had been shared with someone else while I was busy earning a life for us. She came into the room wrapped in a towel, hair dripping, face pale. She tried to explain, words tumbling over each other, excuses dressed up as reasons. Loneliness. Neglect. A mistake that just happened. Each word landed like an insult, not because they were lies, but because they were too small to carry the weight of what she had done. I listened quietly, surprised by my own calm. Rage would have been easier. Tears would have been honest. But there was only numbness. Say something, she begged. So I did. I told her I loved her once. Past tense. I told her trust, once broken, doesn't bleed, it disappears. I told her that the moment I opened that door, the marriage we knew ended, even if the paperwork hadn't caught up yet. She cried then. Real tears this time. But they didn't move me. That night, I slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling, counting the seconds between breaths. By morning, I had made my decision. Not out of anger, but out of respect for the man I needed to become to survive this. Leaving wasn't easy. Divorce never is. Friends took sides. Families whispered. Some told me to forgive, to save what could be saved. Others told me I was strong for walking away. None of them lived in my skin. The months that followed were dark. Trust didn't just leave my marriage, it left my voice, my laughter, my sense of direction. But pain has a strange way of carving space for growth. I worked harder. I focused inward. I rebuilt not just my life, but my boundaries. Years passed. The wound faded into a scar, still there, but no longer defining me. I learned that betrayal says more about the betrayer than the one betrayed. I learned that walking away isn't weakness when staying would destroy you. Sometimes, I still think about that afternoon. About how close I came to a harmless surprise, and how instead I found the truth. It shattered my marriage, yes, but it also freed me from a lie I didn't know I was living. I returned home early that day expecting comfort. I left with clarity. And in the long run, that clarity saved me.